What's going on, fam? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the 3 main tips that you need to know to get in shape right from home. I'm also going to be talking about how to break down exactly how to start investing in your own home gym setup. So let's go ahead and dive into it. All right, so first off, I want to give some context. So about a year ago now, I was working out strictly from home while working an 8 to 5 job and running my fitness business on the side, and I lost about 20 pounds. Okay, so I was strictly waking up at 5 a.m., working out for a good 45 minutes, and then I would go to work, go to my 8 to 5 job, come home, work on my side hustle, and so there's really no excuse of why you can't fit it in, all right? And you can do everything from home. I was doing everything with just dumbbells and body weight, okay? But I'm also gonna talk about how you don't even need dumbbells, okay? So I have a client right now that actually lives in Germany who strictly did body weight movements for a good 3+ months before we even started implementing resistance band training. So you can do everything with just body weight, and then what I would suggest investing in first, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, is resistance bands. Now that you have a little bit of context about me and my story and how I've used a home gym to get in shape, here are the 3 tips that you need to know to make this happen for yourself. Okay, so tip number 1 is you need to have progressions for your movements. You need to have progressions in your workouts. And this doesn't just mean you need to be tracking your sets, reps, and weights and making sure that that's all going up, but this means you actually need to progress the movements that you're doing to more difficult movements. Okay, so if you're just using body weight for these home gym workouts, then you need to be progressing the actual movements you're doing. Okay, so say, for example, you're starting out with body weight squats, you can progress those to squat jumps, and then you can progress that to pistol squats from a chair, and you can progress that to pistol squat plyos from a chair, eventually getting into regular pistol squats. So that's one example of just a body weight movement that you can progress and challenge yourself quite a bit to being able to do a really difficult movement that's going to yield really good stimulus for your legs. Okay, so that's tip number 1, is make sure you know how to progress your workouts and your movements that you're doing. Tip number 2 is you need to make sure that you're training with enough resistance to yield adaptations. And you really don't need much equipment to do this. You just need to make sure that you're training at an intensity level that causes enough stimulus for your muscles. Okay, so you don't need much to do this. You just need to make sure that you know what movements to do that create enough resistance for your muscle groups to yield these adaptations. So that's tip number 2, is make sure that you're training at an intensity level that yields adaptations for your muscles. Tip number 3 is make sure that you prioritize resistance training and strength training and just set your diet up for your success. Too many people are doing too much cardio and trying to cardio themselves away to reach their goals, when really if you just prioritize strength and resistance training 2 to 3 times a week and set your diet up for success, it's not as hard as it seems. Okay, so tip number 3 again is just prioritize resistance training and set your diet up for your success. Now let's talk about what equipment do you need to start investing in to reach your goals, okay? And first and foremost, I'm gonna say it again, all you need is body weight to start making progress and start yielding results, okay? I have clients that have worked out with just body weight for 3+ months before we even started using any equipment whatsoever, okay? So you can get a lot done with just body weight. All right, with that being said, the first things that I would invest in when starting a home gym is going to be resistance bands. That's going to be the first thing I would invest in, and you can do a whole lot with body weight and just resistance bands. Okay, the next thing I would invest in would be a door frame pull-up bar, so that you can do some stuff like hanging leg raises and pull-ups and chin-ups, but then you can also use that to get your next piece of equipment, which would be suspension bands, like TRX bands or an off-brand like that. And that allows for a whole lot of different movements that you can do. Okay, so you can get everything that I just mentioned right there for under $200, really probably under $100 invested with resistance bands, a pull-up bar, and suspension bands. Okay, so if you have a little bit more of a budget to invest in, then I would get a adjustable bench and adjustable dumbbells. Those would be the next things that I would invest in. And pretty much right there, so if you have an adjustable bench, adjustable dumbbells, resistance bands, a door frame pull-up bar, and suspension bands, you can get 99% of the exercises that you can think of and work all your different muscle groups, get everything done with that, okay? So with all that, you're looking at probably a budget around $300, okay, for everything that I just mentioned. Now, say you have a budget and you want to start, if you want to invest $500 for your whole gym setup, I would say get everything that I just mentioned, and then you can start thinking about getting a nice solid squat rack, a barbell, and starting to get some weights. And a good place that I would go for that type of stuff is Facebook Marketplace. All right, but once you've got about $500 to spend, those are the pieces of equipment that I would start with, okay? And really with everything that I just said, that's gonna get 99.9% of the exercises and the muscle groups you wanna work, that you're gonna be able to get everything done with that, okay? So if I was starting from scratch, that's where I would start, and that's what I would start investing for your home gym. I hope you found value in that. If you did, please make sure that you subscribe. I'd love to start pumping out more long form content, but I wanna know that you guys like this. It does take a little bit more effort to make this long form content and edit it, but please let me know by subscribing, like, and comment this video, and I'd love to provide as much value to you guys as I possibly can. Okay, so I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great one. Take action, take control in that order, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace out.